iGaming leaders don't actually read industry articles. They get information directly from conferences and personal networks.
Tricky question.
Yeah, that's it. So I've actually got, it's actually something that I think about because obviously it's like a big part of my job is looking after media brands, and we're writing for that kind of leadership audience, and I think what these kind of cohorts read has evolved over time. I think they're not the kind of people that want just news. They don't want to know what's happening. I mean, I think quite a lot of the time what is kind of broken by kind of media, there's a lot of people in the industry that know that thing already, and so really, and part of that is, these people are time poor. They're very busy, they don't have time to go through kind of like daily news. They'll glance at stuff, people will send them stuff and share stuff with them, which is part of kind of bringing in that kind of network, that personal network. But they are sharing content. And I mean, anecdotally speaking, what I kind of see is kind of C-suite leaders, they're not interested in a subject until they are. And then they want to read about it in a kind of like voraciously, they want to read loads of stuff about it. So what I see as effective for that kind of audience, it's not telling them what happened. It's telling them why it happened and what happens next. It's giving them angles. It's all very well to tell them this thing happened and it's like, great. But ultimately, you need to provide something deeper to engage that audience, because otherwise you risk losing them to that network.
I see. I agree with you because, of course, network conferences and other things like that, they're important because it's an easy way to share the information. To share news, maybe some gossips, I don't know. But if you want to dive deeper, if you want to see the real trends, predictions, understanding of why something is happening right now in the industry, you need to get information, analytical reports, deep analysis of what is happening. And this is type of content that can be very interesting to such type of the audience. I personally believe I read such articles where I can see something that really explain me the situation, not give me the information, because I can get information from anywhere, but explain me or show me a new perspective of something that is happening right now. So I believe that content and articles, they are very important and that they will not lose in their, I would say, popularity, but they should be a bit more deeper than they can be right now. And personally, what do you read? What do you think insightful in our industry or around our industry?
Obviously, I've got to say iGamingbusiness.com and ggbmagazine.com. We do put a focus on that more kind of deeper analytical content. I mean, in terms of other things kind of around the industry I read, I find reports quite interesting. I mean, variable but interesting. I read quite a lot of, generally the kind of, the investment banks. I'm always interested in their steer. I think some of the Substack writers, there's this growing trend of, quite veteran journalists doing really good work and analysis, and these are people that I really look up to. I mean, me personally, as kind of, someone who's been in the industry a long time, the two people that I've always really looked up to as journalists are a guy called Scott Longley and a guy in the States called Howard Stutz. I think they're phenomenal journalists, and I think there's other good, kind of really experienced people out there. For example, my colleague Steve Carter, one of the first people that, he showed me to my desk at my first job in the industry. Great, deep understanding. One of my old colleagues, Jill Dawson, I think is an excellent journalist. One of the things that I'm quite proud of at Clarion is I think we've got a really good team of writers whose work I enjoy reading. I mean, you know, it's like, I'm going to list them. You know, there's, you know, in the US, led by Adam Candy, there's Frank Legato, just absolute authority in slots. There's a guy called Jess Marquez, outstanding, you know, kind of journalist, investigative reporter, Matt Rebeltowski, really good legislative reporter called Pat Evans. And then in the UK side, you know, we've got Nicole Macedo leads that team. We've got a guy called Kyle Goldsmith, deep understanding of Latin America. We've got Marjorie Preston, who looks after Asia, you know, and we've got kind of like a network, people like Mohammed Cohen, Martin Björk, Imogen Goodman, a guy called Rob Fletcher. And I think I'm quite proud that, you know, pulling together this team of people that are really kind of engaged and really care about the industry. They want to know what's going on. They're not interested in, they're going to be less interested in what is going to be reported everywhere. They want to try and get under the skin of something. You know, it's really what they kind of want to do is the so what. I mean, that's kind of the people that I kind of, you know, enjoy reading and like look up to.
But you know, you gave a very long list of people who are really professional in their job. I mean, like journalists in our industry, and for me, it sounds very promising. Because when I came to the industry 5 years ago, it seems to me that our iGaming media, they are only about news and selling their banner places, not about analytical work. And what you said right now sounds to me perfect, because it means that industry is changing and becoming more and more mature, because when the industry has the need to such type of analytical work, analytical reading, it creates a space for growing and developing of such people. This is really great, a good sign of the fact that industry is getting more and more mature. So it's nice. And you know what? I think we really have to make a list of such people who are writing analytical reports in the industry, just to make people to read it, or just to go to IGB website.
You can go to iGamingbusiness.com.
iGamingbusiness.
Sorry, shamelessly plugging my own brands. I mean, I do agree with you. I mean, I think iGaming has always had a surprisingly large kind of media ecosystem around it. And you know, obviously I mentioned people that I've either worked with or that I look up to. There are other great, you know, kind of sites out there. I think we're all doing kind of different things. So I think we kind of coexist in the ecosystem. You know, I kind of care about what my team does and what we're building rather than what, you know, our competitors are doing, you know, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I do think that, especially as, you know, we're seeing kind of, well, I suppose kind of like the rise of like answer engine as well, you know, like these things are looking for, you know, high quality authoritative content, and that really kind of, I think, forces kind of, you know, kind of industry journalists to up their game. You know, it's not just enough to have a load of news. It's really, you need to get under the skin of the industry, you know, because ultimately we're providing a service to the industry. You know, similar to SOFTSWISS, you guys are providing technology, we're providing information.
Absolutely, yeah.